again, this is John Lindquist, Paladin Academy. This is Algebra 2, 3-3 graphing two-step inequalities. So now we're going to graph inequalities, but it's going to take 2 steps to get, the x by itself. So I'll do this problem on the side here. So I get a -3 subtract x over 2 is less than or equal to -1. Okay, so the first thing you just solve it like a regular equation, where you want to get rid of these two numbers. You want to get x by itself, and you always go after the farthest away number, I guess you'd say. This one, the -3. The 2 is really close. I can't get rid of this 2. This 2 underneath the x, or x divided by 2, I can't just go ahead and multiply by 2. Well, I could. I could do that, but it's not as efficient. Like I could do but I'd have to do this. I'd have to multiply by 2 like this, and that would do it, because I'd get this. That would work. But I have to distribute the 2 to the -3. Then the 2 over the 2 would cancel, and then I'd add 6, and then I get -x is less than or equal to 4. And then I have to apply my rule. And the rule is, if I assume this is a -1. If I divide both sides by -1, I have to flip the inequality. This has to flip. That's the rule, because I just negated the inequality by multiplying it by a negative. I just inverted it, and is what happened. So I get x is greater than -4. But let's just do it the way probably most everybody would do it. And I'll use maroon. So if you had -3 minus or subtract x over 2 less than or equal to -1, usually people just add 3. That's pretty simple. And then you get 0. You get -x over 2 is less than or equal to 2. Because 3 plus -1 is 2. Now I am going to multiply. I'm going to multiply this side by -2. And I'm going to multiply this side by -2. The reason I'm going to multiply by -2 is I have to get the x be a positive, and this 2 is going to be over 1, so I can cancel, and then I can cancel out the -2. So I get 2 over 2, but the rule applies again. The rule, I just multiply. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality. Okay, so this got to flip. That's the rule. So I just cancel that out. I use red. I just cancel this out. I get x. I flip the inequality, and I get -4. I think that's what I got before. And so you get -4 and greater than or equal to, so you circle it in, and notice that the x goes away. The arrow goes the same way as this arrow here. You could try it, put a 0 in here, and if 0 works, well, 0 over 2 is 0. -3 minus 0 is -3. Is -3 less than or equal to -1? Well, yeah, it is. -3 is less than or equal to -1. and I've talked about this before. Magnitude-wise, there's a difference between magnitude and less than and greater than, or value. I guess you could say value. Magnitude and value. So magnitude-wise, there's more negatives than there are negative. There's more negative. Negative 3 is magnitude-wise bigger than negative 1 as far as negatives go, right? But value-wise, negative 3 is considered less, more negative, more less, more to the left. Anything to the left, if something is to the left of something and the thing on the left is less than. That's just defined that way. Okay. I'll quickly go through these. So this one, I'll use gray or not. Okay, so I got negative 3, and here I have a negative 3 times n 3 is greater than negative 15. Okay, I could distribute. I also could divide everything by negative 3. But I'm going to distribute, because that's what we usually do. And I get this. Okay, negative 3n, so negative 3n. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I get negative 3. N is greater than negative 6. Negative 6, yeah. Right, negative 6. So if this is like saying 9 from 15, that's 6, but there's more negatives. So you just really subtract the 2, and whatever is bigger magnitude, what has more, that's the sign of the result. So I divide by negative 3, which causes me to flip the inequality, and I get 2. So I get less than x is less than 2. Notice I just circle this. You can close it because I'm not including 2. Okay, last one. I'll use black. Okay, I get negative 7 plus x over 6 is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay, so I can't go after this. I can't get at this until I get rid of this. This divide by kind of blocks me from getting at this negative 7. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 6 over 1, or 6. That cancels. And so you get negative 7 plus x less than or equal to, I haven't multiplied or divided by a negative, so I don't flip anything, negative 12. I add 7 to both sides, and I get x is less than or equal to, nothing flips, and I get negative 5. Okay, less than or equal to negative 5. Here's negative 5. I darken it in, and it's less than. And that's it. Notice the arrows. If I have the x on this side, the arrows match. This arrow, and this arrow match. If I had it this way, this is the same thing. This way. Negative 5 is greater than or equal to x. It's really hard to read that way. But you start with the variable and you say all numbers less than or equal to negative 5. So it's much easier to read like this than if I get an answer like this, I flip it. I flip it to this. Okay, that's it. These are pretty much all the examples that I found in the worksheet. So good luck.